Okay, in today's lesson, we're learning how to factor polynomials by removing the greatest common factor. So if we look at 6x minus 15, we know that the greatest common factor of 6x and 15 is 3 because 3 can go into both of those evenly. So I'm going to pull out the 3, and then I'm going to I'm going to open up a set of parentheses and then try to think of, well, how could I make 6x from 3? So what would I multiply 3 by to get 6x? And the answer is 2x. 3 times 2x would be 6x. Then because this has a minus sign in it, I am then going to as well, then I will put a minus sign down here, and I would then say, what can I multiply 3 by in order to get 15? And the answer is 5, of course. So I can check this by simply doing the distributive property now to make sure that I did it correctly. So 3 times 2x would be 6x, and 3 times 5 would be 15, and I have my minus sign in between. Okay, so that's just a check. I did it correctly. If I can do the distributive property and I get the original equation back, then if they match, then I did it right. So let's look at another example. Okay, so sometimes a GCF can be a number and sometimes it can be a variable, or sometimes it could be a number or a variable, and a variable. So let's look at another example where the GCF might also be a variable. So if we have, let's see, 9x to the third minus 6x, okay, we can see that 3 will go into both 9 and 6, but also x can go into both of those as well. They both have an x in common. So our GCF is actually going to be 3x for this one. So then I'm going to open up my parentheses after my GCF, and I'll then say to myself, okay, well, 3x goes into 9x cubed how many times? And that would be 3x squared. Okay, and then bring down my subtraction symbol. 3x times 2 is 6x. Okay, so then when we want to check it, we're just going to go ahead and do distributive property. We're going to take 3x and multiply it by 3x squared, and then say minus 3x times 2, and see if we get this back. If we get this back, then we know we did it correctly. So 3x times 3x squared would be 9x cubed. And then 3x times 2 would be 6x. So yes, that checks. It was done correctly. And that's pretty much what the lesson is going to be today. When we do the next lesson, we'll be talking about how to factor things when there is no GCF. And there'll be a kind of some unique things that we have to do in order to do that. That's it for today.